believe it or not, the holiday budget situation can really have an impact on our overall spending for the year. So in 2021, Americans spent $886 billion during the holiday season. So obviously it can have a big impact. The problem is a lot of the times they put that spending on credit cards, or they took from other accounts like their emergency savings. And that's what we want to protect clients from, is keeping them from reaching in, putting it on a credit card, taking it out of the wrong type of account. And so it's very important to do planning ahead of time. So I've got 4 ideas, 4 concepts that I'd like to share with my clients. Number 1 is, we don't like this one, it's not fun, but have a written budget. You got to put it down on paper. So if you think about when it comes to your own special family dynamic, how many people are you going to be buying for? And what is your budget for that year? Let's say it's $1,000 is your Christmas budget. Well, how many people are you going to be buying gifts for? 5, 8, 10? Write it down. Create the budget. You have how much money you're going to spend, and then it's pretty simple. It's time to go through and do the math. How much can I spend on each person, and stick to that budget. The second thing is stockpile your savings. Now, for most of us, when it comes to about this time of year, you know, we're in mid-August. We've got August, September, October, November, and then it's Christmas time, and we realize, oh, I haven't saved that money anywhere. Where am I going to get the money from Christmas? That's where the problem comes in, because we'll have to go pull it out of an emergency place or put it on credit card. We don't want to do that. So when you stockpile your savings, you realize how much time you've got between now and Christmas, and you either designate a special account for that, or you go, okay, I know that I need to save about $50 per week from here all the way out to that time. And if you have your written budget, of course, then you know exactly how much you can spend on each person, and it'll help keep you stay on track. Another thing is, leave your savings alone. This is critically important. We don't want to reach into an account that's earmarked maybe for our emergencies. It's ideal to have 3 to 6 months of emergency money saved and set back. But if you don't have your Christmas money set aside and planned and budgeted out, it's tempting to go in and say, well, I'll just take it out of this account and then I'll pay myself back. We don't want to do that, and certainly don't want to fall into the credit card trap. So make sure that you leave your savings alone. Set aside a specific account for this. This could be at home, maybe in an envelope or a shoebox, or it may be a specific savings account at the bank that you keep that's always earmarked for special holiday times. Also, here's one that's very common. We do this in my family. Negotiate a gift exchange. Now, the older you get, of course, the more family members there are. You may have parents, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews. It's pretty overwhelming if you're all buying a gift, or if you feel like you have to buy a gift for every single person. So when you navigate the gift exchange, maybe you put numbers in a hat or names in a hat, and you draw for just one person. It makes it fun to do it that way, to know who you're purchasing the gift for. Takes the burden of having to buy 15 or 20 gifts away from you. And then also it helps us remember what Christmas and the holiday season is really about, because it's not about how many gifts we get. It's about the joy of giving and being with family. So last thing, and this is kind of a bonus tip for us, and this would be for older clients, but it affects the rest of the family. Once you reach a special age, it's either age 70 and a half or age 72, you have what's called a required minimum distribution from any type of tax-deferred account, a 401k, an IRA, TSP, that type of thing. And the reason I say 2 different ages, there was a new law that was set in place a year ago, and so if you were born before June 30th, 1949, you fall under the 70 and a half rule. If you're born July 1st, 1949 or later, you fall under the age 72 rule. But the key is, Uncle Sam and Congress are watching those tax-deferred accounts, and they're going to make you take a required minimum distribution every year, whether you need the income or not. So think about it. If you've got Social Security and so does your spouse, and maybe you have a pension, or maybe you inherited money, Uncle Sam's watching the day you turn 70 and a half or the day you turn 72, and he says, got to take the money out. And so here's what we help people do from a Christmas planning standpoint. If you know that required minimum distribution is coming out every year anyway, and you don't need it as part of your income, set it up for an automatic December 1st distribution every year. Then, right about the time that our tax comes due for all of our real estate and property tax and Christmas, we've got this payment that comes in. We didn't have to create a secondary special account. It was saved up inside our 401k or our IRA. We automatically get that every December 1st, and there's our budget for Christmas. The neat thing is, you know exactly how much that's going to be every year. The RMD is based on the December 31st balance of every calendar year of that account, and your custodian's going to tell you, here's how much your RMD is going to be for this year. You've already got your budget there. Another neat thing that you can do with that, there's all these unique terms, but you can do what's called a QCD with your RMD. Now, what does that mean? That's a qualified charitable distribution using your required minimum distribution. So if you are charitably inclined, if you give to your church or to charities, if you have your custodian send your qualified charitable distribution directly to the charity of your choice, it is not taxable. That's a big deal. The RMD is taxable if you take it out and deposit it and then write checks out. If you take it as a QCD and you don't touch it and it goes straight to the charity, you have avoided the tax on that required minimum distribution, and that tax savings could be free Christmas money to buy all those gifts with. So those are some neat things that you can think of. Put it pen to paper, create a budget, stockpile your savings, leave your savings alone, don't touch them, have a specific account for it, negotiate a gift exchange, and make a creative use of your RMDs and your QCDs.